Welcome to Bangla City SATV News. This is Nouri Alamin with the headlines. Nation observed Amor Ekushe, an International Mother Language Day today. President and Prime Minister paid rich tribute. 3 sleeping siblings killed in gas cylinder explosion in Mymensingh. Fire service brought the fire under control in 2 hours. COVID restrictions will be lifted tomorrow. Secondary school, college, university is opening. SSC exams will be announced in June, HSC in August. Amor Ekushe Day today. Crowds of people from all walks of life flocked to the central Shohid Minar on the first morning of Ekushe to celebrate the great Martyrs' Day. Dala Nilufar has more.
The nation is observing Amor Ekushe, an International Mother Language Day today, paying glowing tribute to the martyrs of the historic 1952 language movement. Dressed in black and white, they started walking barefoot to Dhaka Central Shohid Minar with wreaths and singing Amar Bhaiyer Rokte Rangano 21 February. At 12:01 a.m. last night, on behalf of President Muhammad Abdul Hamid and Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, their military secretaries paid homage to the language martyrs with flowers at the Central Shohid Minar. Later, the Speaker Shirin Sharmin Chaudhry, 5 senior leaders of Awami League led by the party's Joint Secretary Ubaidul Qadir, laid wreaths at the Shohid Minar. On the 17th anniversary, everyone hopes that the pure practice of language will spread in all parts of the country and that the development of Bangla language will take place. Dalia Nulfar, SATV News Desk.
3 sleeping siblings who were locked in at home by their parents for their own safety were burned to death last night as a fire broke out in an area after a gas cylinder blast in a tin shed house at Shid Store area under Bhaluka Upazila of Mymensingh. Police said Shumon Mia, a day laborer, and his wife, a garment worker, were not at home then, and the 3 children were asleep in their rented house. On this information, the firefighters rushed to the spot and brought the fire under control after just 2 hours. Later on, they recovered the charred bodies of the children from the spot. Reports say the fire originated from a gas cylinder blast at a neighbor's kitchen that engulfed 5 adjacent tin shed houses. The restrictions imposed by the government last month on the new type of coronavirus, Omicron, will no longer be in place from tomorrow. Secondary schools, colleges and universities will be started from tomorrow as well. This year's secondary school certificate exam will be held in June and higher secondary certificate in August with no more revisions to the syllabus. The Board of Intermediate and Secondary Education, Dhaka, announced the decision in a notice on Sunday. Viewers, we are taking a short break. Stay with Bangla City SATV News. Welcome back, and we are watching Bangla City SATV News. More than 600,000 hectares of land have been burned by wildfires in recent weeks due to drought conditions in Argentina. The flames have also threatened wildfire in the Ibera National Park, the largest wetland in the country and one of its largest ecosystems. Many animals have been burned by the fire, poisoned by smoke and trying to escape the blaze. Rescue operations on the Italian-flagged Euroferry Olympia continued Sunday, with rescue crews finding another survivor in the still-burning vessel, reviving hopes that the other missing passengers could still be alive. Since the blaze broke out early Friday, 281 out of 292 passengers were taken to safety, with 11 still reported missing. Authorities have not yet announced a death toll. Firefighters have spent days containing the fire on the 183-meter ship to allow emergency crew to board and rescue any survivors. The cause of the fire is still being investigated. Myanmar's junta is set to replace Aung San Suu Kyi at the UN's top court today as it seeks to dismiss a case over the alleged genocide of Rohingya Muslims. Suu Kyi personally presented Myanmar's arguments at the International Court of Justice when the case was first heard December 2019. In its preliminary objections today, Myanmar will argue that the court has no jurisdiction over the case and must throw it out before it moves on the substantive hearing. Russian President Vladimir Putin and his US counterpart Joe Biden have agreed to a summit to be held only if Moscow doesn't invade Ukraine. France announced this Monday following a frantic new round of diplomacy to avert an all-out war. The possible breakthrough came after Washington warned of an imminent invasion, and Ukraine and Russia blamed each other for a spike in swelling in front of the line separating Kiev's forces from Moscow-backed the separatists. Over in the French city of Nice, the 137th annual Battle of the Flowers took place on Saturday as the carnival continued for the second week. Performances were seen atop the decorated animal-themed floats as the trio flowers at the audience. Until a number of health restrictions were lifted earlier this month, the cap of attendance had been limited to 5,000 seated people, but organizers now expect to welcome an additional 7,000 standing spectators. Each year, the carnival attracts more than 200,000 visitors with its parade and festival. Now, sports news. Finally, Novak Djokovic has started his season on Monday in Dubai. He came back in the field after missing the chance of win 10th Australian Open due to cancellation of his visa. He has returned to the tour this week in the Emirates, where he will be completing for the first time since the Davis Cup finals in the Madrid last December. Meanwhile, Djokovic expressed to journalists on Sunday night about how it feels to be back on the tennis circuit and whether there has been any negative reactions from his peers. Before ending, we go through Bangla City SATV News headlines again. Nation observed Omar Ekushe, an International Mother Language Day today. President and Prime Minister paid rich tribute. 3 sleeping siblings killed in gas cylinder explosion in Mymensingh. Fire service brought the fire under control in 2 hours. COVID restrictions will be lifted tomorrow. Secondary school, college, university is opening. SSC exam will be announced in June. HSC in You're up to date with the Bangla City SATV News. And to know the latest news, visit www.satv.tv. Stay with SATV.